pessoal do YouTube, tudo bem com vocês? Como vocês estão vendo pelo título desse vídeo, a gente vai ter aqui a entrevista com John Gwynne, que é o autor de A Sombra dos Deuses, ou The Shadow of the Gods, que é a edição que eu tenho aqui. E essa entrevista, gente, rolou no início do ano para o evento Free Fantasy, que é um evento literário de fantasia, e essa entrevista foi feita online, tá? A gente se encontrou via Zoom, e a gente conversou um pouquinho sobre o lançamento dele, que seria A Sombra dos Deuses, que vai ser A Sombra dos Deuses. Ainda não chegou na minha mão a edição em português, eu tenho essa edição aqui, que é super especial pra mim, já vou contar por quê. Mas eu tive a oportunidade incrível de poder conversar com o John Gwynne. E eu estava extremamente nervosa, porque quem não estaria, né? Eu já tinha lido o primeiro volume, eu já li o primeiro volume, e eu conversei um pouquinho com ele sobre The Shadow of the Gods, e eu decidi disponibilizar essa entrevista aqui para vocês, porque nem todo mundo estava presente no Free Fantasy, e acho também uma vantagem muito grande a gente ter entrevistas desse autor, que é um autor relativamente novo aqui no Brasil, em português. A entrevista em si foi feita em inglês, só que eu mesma legendei, então eu fiz o meu máximo para legendar. Claro que eu acho que um erro ou outro deve passar, gente. A gente não legenda de forma profissional, mas eu tentei o máximo, deixei a legenda em português e deixei a legenda em inglês também, porque vai que outras pessoas querem ver essa entrevista, né? Então, se você entende português, você vai estar com a legenda em português. Se você quiser ler em inglês, você vai estar com a legenda em inglês. Espero que vocês aproveitem bastante. Estava, assim, ansiosa para poder divulgar isso para vocês. E deixei para poder colocar essa entrevista no ar agora mais perto do lançamento do livro, de fato, né? Porque eu acho que se eu tivesse soltado ela muito antes, não faria tanto sentido. Mas agora que as pessoas vão começar a ler e entender um pouco mais do autor, entender um pouco mais da história dele também, vocês vão aproveitar mais a entrevista. E desde lá pra cá, tive acompanhando o John Gwynne nas redes sociais, e por conta dessa entrevista, eu tenho nas minhas mãos esse volume aqui, autografado. Então, por isso que eu falei que essa daqui é uma edição muito especial pra mim, que ele autografou pra mim. E, gente, apesar da entrevista ter sido online, né, não fisicamente eu não autografei, ele teve o... Assim, eu falo que ele se disponibilizou, né, porque ele enviou pra mim esse livro autografado. Então, eu sou fã desse cara, gente. Vocês vão ver que ele é extremamente fofo. Ele respondeu tudo muito perfeitamente. Eu acho que vocês vão se apaixonar pelo mundo dele. Essa fantasia aqui tem tudo para ser muito bem abraçada por nós, leitores de fantasia, aqui no Brasil, tá? Então, se você ainda não conhece John Gwynne, se você não sabia de Sombra dos Deuses, The Shadow of the Gods, agora é o momento que você vai poder ouvir um pouquinho a gente conversar sobre o livro. Não tem spoiler, tá, gente? É uma entrevista super spoiler-free. Era exatamente mesmo para poder instigar as pessoas a quererem ler o livro dele. Então, se você já leu o livro, eu acho que você vai pegar mais referências da entrevista. Se não, eu acho que é uma ótima porta de entrada para você se interessar com esse universo, tá? Então, segue a entrevista aí, espero que vocês gostem. Não deixe de deixar o seu like e um comentário aqui embaixo, porque isso me ajuda demais a poder estar com esse canal sempre em crescimento. E manda essa entrevista para um amigo seu, para ele também conhecer A Sombra dos Deuses, e ele também virar fã da saga incrível que é The Blood and Sword Saga. Então, gente, segue a entrevista. Beijo pra vocês.
Everyone watching online, and my name is Lorena, and I'm absolutely thrilled today to be introducing you our special guest, the one and only John Gwynne, and it's a pleasure to have you here, John. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Lorena. It's lovely to be here. I'm really honoured to be invited and really excited to be talking to you.
Coming through this interview, I was fully aware that you'll be using an armor or maybe a helmet, something like that. And it's a question that many of us have. It's what is reenacting? You do reenacting, right? And
That's
can you
right.
explain to us?
Sure, yeah. So I do Viking reenactment, which is so it focuses on the Viking era, Viking history, and really it's just an excuse to dress up in Viking kits.
Why not?
Yeah, it's so much fun. there's groups all around the UK, and we train together in small groups, and so we'll do maybe like combat practice. So when you join up with a Viking reenactment group, they teach you how to all the basics of Viking combat. So how to hold a shield, how to hold a spear, how to use them in combat, how to fight in a shield wall. Um, and as you get into it, you start buying all the kit. So you start wearing the clothes, and you might be able to see some of it behind me.
So
Um,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I've got a I've got an axe here on the desk, just in case.
Just in
Um,
case. Why not? You
yeah,
never know, right?
that's right, exactly. But there's stuff littered all around the room, shields and spears and swords and but so yeah, that's really what Viking reenactment is. And then there will be festivals throughout the year where all the groups get together and kind of will reenact historical battles. So one of the biggest one in the UK is probably the reenactment of the Battle of Hastings. Even though it wasn't actually Vikings, it was Anglo-Saxons. Their dress is very similar. So all the Viking reenactors pretend to be Anglo-Saxons, and we fight the Normans, and that doesn't end very well, unfortunately. But it's a lot of fun.
That's so cool. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you for the
you-
explanation.
you're welcome. It's a good day out. We used to we used to go as a family, myself and my wife and
Mhm.
my children. We'd go for days out to these things, and that's where we started thinking, oh, it'd be fun to join in.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do on
Yeah,
family, right?
yeah,
Super cool.
exactly. It's a good day out. Yeah.
And talking about the Shadow of the Gods now, and I was blown away when I read it. So I would love to ask you more about the book and what inspired you and something like that. Is that okay to you?
Of course. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it. It's great to hear.
It was very good. At the end, where's the book two? Where? Now I will wait for Trauma to read the book two,
Yeah.
or I'm kind of but it was very good, very good.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed.
And everybody here wants to know too, how did you feel when you found out that The Shadow of the Gods will be published here in Brazil? Did you expected that? Did you see that coming?
Um, no, I mean, I was so pleased. I'm so pleased that there's that people in Brazil want to read it. I see. I'm on social media, so I get I see messages, and every now and then someone from Brazil would message and say, oh, could this book come out in Brazil, please? But I don't think people.
Maybe that was me.
Maybe, yeah, possibly it was. But some people don't realize that it's not up to me. You have to be approached by a publisher from the country. So I'm really excited that Trauma, are excited about the Bloodsworn saga and looking to publish it in Brazil. It's great news.
So good. I can't wait to have the Portuguese version here too.
No, me neither.
Uh,
Yeah,
Maybe you can come here too and sign some of ours of our books too.
yeah, I'm happy to do
Let's
that
see,
too.
let's see.
Yeah,
So the Shadow of the Gods, we see a strong representation of Norse mythology. And can you tell us more about your interest in this particular mythology? I know that there's something to do with the reenacting, but I want to know where start the feeling that you want to write something about it.
sure. Well, when I every project I do writing, it starts the same way. It starts with something that I'm passionate about, and I always go to history and to mythology really as my kind of starting point. So I've done that with all three series that I've written, and so with the Bloodsworn saga, I mean I started reading, as a young child, and I was hooked on fantasy when I was 7 or 8. But I remember picking up a copy of Beowulf, um, like a comic, like a comic version of it, and I just loved it from the first moment I picked it up. I loved the idea of, monster hunting warriors, the dragons, Grendel, that, yeah, and I love there's kind of a sense of humor in um in Norse stories, which I really
Hmm.
liked. And so that kind of led me on a slippery slope into Norse mythology, and then I discovered Thor and Odin and Loki, and and it just fascinated me. I just loved it from an very early age. Um, and I mean, what's not to love? There's talking crows and giant wolves, and
Of course.
yeah, yeah. It's just there's so much fun to be had in Norse mythology, and then as I grew older, I started reading history as well. So I really enjoy reading historical novels
Hmm.
as well as fantasy novels. So I read a lot of things like Bernard Cornwell,
Wow.
The Last Kingdom, and Robert Lowe, and so I read a fair bit of kind of Viking historical novels as well. So and then I started doing a reenactment. So it just seemed like the obvious choice for me to write
It was
something.
meant to be.
It was Norse inspired. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that's where the Bloodsworn saga came from. I just kind of did a deep dive into Viking history and Norse mythology and things like Ragnarok, in Norse mythology. The Beowulf and Ragnarok were really the two kind of sparks for the Bloodsworn saga. So the idea of having monster hunting mercenaries and this kind of cataclysmic battle where the gods and every other fantastical creature meets and almost fight each other to extinction. I thought that's
Hmm.
that's really interesting. And
I want to do it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where
And
it
do you remember exactly where did you think of the story specific?
wasn't really like that. I knew that I had it was time to start thinking about a new project, and I knew that I just wanted to write something Norse inspired. And then I was reading a bit of the Poetic Edda, which is a very old book. It's poems from Norse mythology, and I was reading about the Battle of Ragnarok, and there's a line just at the end of the Poetic Edda where they're all dead. Odin's dead, Thor's dead, Jormungandr's dead. They're all dead, and then out from the roots of the world tree bursts this dragon that just
Wow.
yeah called this dragon called Nithhoga, and I think it's only a sentence, and it says the dragon flew across the sky, and there were corpses in her wings, and I thought, oh, and that's the end of
Hmm.
it. I thought, oh,
I've seen this before.
I thought, what happens
Where
next? What would happen next? And that was kind of the spark that I thought I'd like to write something in a world where something like Ragnarok has happened, and then you're
Hmm.
seeing how the world kind of functions and rebuilds itself after that.
Well, you made a really good job. I can tell you that. It's
Thank you.
very good.
Thank you.
I can't wait to everyone to read too, so I can talk about it. How did you approach this mythology in comparison with other medias that are out there? Because we have movies and we have series, books, but it's completely different. And I can tell because I have watched, I read, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you never know when you're writing. You just my I don't really have any rules as a writer because I think everybody finds their own way. There's no one way to write a book. The only rule I have is to write what you want to read. So I what I do is I don't really know how it's going to go down, how whether people are going to like it or not. I try to write something that I know if I saw it on the shelf, I'd be interested in picking it up and reading it, and then I
Hmm.
just hope that other people will want to read it too. Um, but really, it's really my love song, my love song to Norse mythology. It takes all the elements that I love about it, and I try to kind of put it in the pot and stir it up and try and write it in a fresh way. It's because I'm inspired by Norse mythology, but I didn't want to copy it. I didn't want to write the same.
Mhm.
I didn't want to write the same story. I wanted to write something that felt, contemporary and fresh, hopefully, but with that Norse Scandinavian tone.
It's completely different. We can see that Ragnarok and everything, we can see that we're inspired by that, but it's completely different. And the map with the snake, I was blown away by that. So genius. And the Norse mythology, it's one of the key themes of this book. But what are the key themes besides Norse mythology?
Well, family is always important to me. It's a theme that it's in all my books really, but that family bonds, family ties, love. There it's a central theme of the book really. And you'll find all in book one, or the 3 points of view. Really, it's all about the relationships they have with people, and
Hmm.
that's what drives them. In different ways, but each one, it comes back to a relationship with someone that's kind of the driving force of what they do and why they do it. So yeah, family is really important to me, and I always try to write about family in my
Yeah.
books.
When I was reading, I was thinking about found family too,
Yes.
because we have a group of people and together, and we have motherhood. That's a thing that I mean, I love Orca, so I she's amazing. The way that she's dealing with the things that is happening. I don't want to spoil her anything, so
Sure.
that's amazing. Friendship, found family, motherhood. That's amazing. I really loved because I could see through the Norse mythology. Of
Yeah.
course, there's the fantasy part, but we can learn from it too.
Hopefully, yeah. I hope so. Yeah. First and foremost, I like to entertain. That's what I
Mhm.
that's my goal when I write, because I want when I started writing, I wanted to try and recapture that feeling that I had as a young person growing up reading. Because when I grew up, books were my friends, and I love books, love reading, and that feeling of being swept up and taken into a world, and connecting with characters, and caring about what happens to them. That's really what I try to do in my books. That's what I'm always aiming to do. So you want the story to be entertaining, but you want it to be a bit deeper than that as well, and you want it to be, emotionally moving as well. I mean, that's the goal. Hopefully that's where, if the characters are done in the right way, then you'll connect with them, and you'll care what happens to them, and then all the fantastical stuff just adds to the fun and the tension.
Yeah, and you are not. I couldn't feel that you are hiding the fantasy for me. Like I would tell you this later. So it goes through all the way, and I was like, oh, I can see that. And
Yeah.
at the middle of the book, I was, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Oh my God, I have to test my friend. She read it too. Oh my God, did you see it? And she was like, you haven't seen it coming, right? That's
Oh,
amazing.
I'm really pleased to hear that. It's nice when a twist comes off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder now for me because I can see the twist coming most of
Yeah.
the time, but not this time.
Oh, that's
I
great.
think I was too blown away by the map and the things that I wanna that I have to learn about it because it's completely new to me too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Norse mythology, and I was like, is that a problem to me because my English is not good enough, or it's something that I really don't know? So I have
Right.
to
Sure.
search for it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was a I have to learn the things. But at the end of the book, I was, please give me book two, please. Do you have any favorite characters in the Shadow of the Gods, and why it's Orca?
I mean,
I mean, you have free will. You can answer whatever
yeah.
you want.
It's very hard to choose because you know when you write characters, you love them all for different reasons. But you know, I did really love writing Orca. She, you know, I just felt she was just a great character to write. You know, it's funny. She started off the inspiration for Orca was Clint Eastwood in William in Unforgiven. You know, the Western where he plays William Money, the retired veteran. And I knew I wanted to write a character that was one of these retired veterans of war.
Hmm.
So that was the original spark for Orca. Um, but you know, I thought it'd be, you know, it just felt like the right choice to write her as a woman, um, and with all that comes with that for her. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, you know, when you're
It's
writing,
like choosing between kids.
it is like choosing between kids. I mean, Varg, I have a soft spot for, and I really enjoyed writing some of the side characters like Svik. Svik was a lot of fun. You know, I like writing,
Hmm.
and there's a little bit of one of my sons in Svik, Edward, my son Ed. Um, he was kind of a bit of an inspiration for Svik because Ed's very funny and he's always telling stories and he loves cheese. Um, yeah, so you know, I like you like characters for different reasons, I suppose.
You have to come to Brazil because in the state that I was born, that I live,
Yeah,
we are well known because of our cheese.
are you?
We have
Wow.
a lot of cheese. Yeah,
Well,
you have to come here.
that's it. That has sealed the deal. Yeah. And
And was
Ed would want to come with me.
yeah, sure. Was Orca based on some women in your life, your mother? Because she's so real that I don't know. You have to tell me something more about her.
Yeah, I'd have to say my wife, Caroline. Um, she's got, you know, she's got all the aspects that Orca has, but she's just not as violent as Orca, fortunately. No, but you know, those qualities that protectiveness, that fierceness for her family, for her children, you know, her just passionate. Um, yeah, my wife is really my inspiration for Orca.
I was thinking about that because she's so real. You have to have someone that you can inspire on because she's like, I don't want to be here. I already did my job and you are
Yeah,
here
yeah,
taking my kid. I don't want to go and fight this war again, but I will do it because I have to. It's my
yeah,
duty as a mother and as a woman. And I think she would do that for her husband too, family, not because it's her son, but she's a strong woman, prepared to do everything to get what she wants.
yes, yeah.
And that's a mother in the
That mother
that's
instinct.
yeah, mother instinct.
Yeah,
And it's very hard to see on fantasy books because most of the characters they aren't fathers or mothers. They mostly young,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it was very cool that you put Orca in this way, not the retired one that
yeah,
I don't want to be here, but I would do it anyway.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
And Elba too. She is a strong woman. In this book, we have two women and one boy,
Yeah.
man, because he's older.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to do three point of views in two being woman?
Well, I started off. I start off with the story, so I kind of work out the rough idea of the story, and then I think about, well, okay, well, who would it be interesting to see this story through their eyes? Um, and so what I wanted to do with the points of view is I wanted to show kind of the different layers of kind of Viking, their social strata. So you've got Orca, who's a retired mercenary warrior. and you know that they were a warrior culture, the Vikings. So you know there's a lot of those people around. Then Elvar was she's basically a princess. You know, she's the daughter of an earl or a baron. So you know she's really quite privileged in a way, but she makes her choices that she doesn't want everything given to her. She wants to find her own way and make her own future. And then you've got Varg, who is he's an escaped slave, so he's right at the very bottom of the social strata. And obviously, you know, slavery was a big thing in Viking history. So I didn't want to ignore that. You know, I wanted to write it, but you know, obviously, I have my views on all of that, and hopefully, it comes through as you read the book. But I mean, it wasn't so much a calculated decision to write two women and one man. It just felt like the right characters for the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't write on I don't have kind of a science to it. Most of my writing is just on gut instinct and what
It's
and
the
what feels
feeling.
what feels right at the time. Yeah, and it felt like they were the right characters to tell the story.
They were. They were. They were. And your battle scenes, I know that you answer this question in all of your interviews, all of them, because they are vivid, cinematic. It's amazing. It's like a movie in my head. I was commenting this on my social media. Oh my, you have to read this because it's the best battle scene that I have ever read. And that really stood out to me in the Shadow of the Gods. It's the best one. And in your opinion, what makes a good action scene in fantasy? Maybe it's slightly different from the questions they asked
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
interviews. So
I mean, thank you so much. You know, it's really lovely that people feel like that way. You know, I mean, I always grew up as a kid, you know, in kind of enjoying those kind of movies, you know, like Spartacus and you know Robin Hood and Vikings with Kirk Douglas and you know all those kind of films. I used to watch them with my mum and dad growing up, and so I really I think there's part of me that loved that. But I think when it changed me, what really influenced my writing is when I saw the film Braveheart at the cinema, and it was I think 1995 that came out. So and it might not seem it now, but at the time it was very kind of cutting edge and new the way that it approached showing a battle scene. It took all the glory out of it. You know, it wasn't about brave knights and villains. It showed the horror of war. You know, and it showed the horror of battle. And I think that, and it's almost like a precursor to the, you know, Saving Private Ryan, the opening scene in that with those. So it was those kind of battle scenes that I tried, you know, that really stayed in my mind. And when I started writing, I wanted to write in a way that felt like that it felt authentic, and I didn't want to glorify it. You know, I think obviously it's part of writing fantasy is combat, but I didn't want to write it in a way that it was glorified or that it was you know it was black and white. I wanted to write it in a way that felt real and authentic. And it's funny you say that, you know, you say that you can see it in your head, because that's how I write it. I kind of see
wow,
it. I see it in my head
3D.
first. Yeah, I just kind of see it like it's a film. I will kind of watch the scene in my head, and once I've kind of watched it, then I write it. Um,
It's so cool.
I can't, you know, I mean that's the closest I can get to explaining how I do it, really. I just, I imagine it first, kind of work my way through it, and then I go back to the beginning and start writing it.
That's so cool because when I was reading, I was like, oh my God, I can see this. And it's amazing. It's the best battle scene ever, ever. And I
Uh,
can't wait to read the other books. So, do you want to write more in the same universe? Because it's a saga, right? The Bloodsworn saga. So we finished the third,
yes,
and
yeah.
Please, spoilers.
So I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I think when you get
Oh
to
my God.
when you finish the third book, some things are wrapped up and done, but there are things that aren't completely wrapped up and that are left open because I feel like that's more real. You know, you don't get everything wrapped up in a bow. So some questions aren't answered. So, you know, and there is room for me to go back to the world of the Bloodsworn and write some more in that world. And I mean, I'd like to, being honest, I'd like to go back there. N Not straight away. I'm going to have a break. I'm doing something else at the
Oh.
moment.
We are excited, but we will read the other series too. So maybe
Like,
Trama could bring the other books too
yeah,
for
yeah,
us here.
that would be great.
That's a tip. Trama, come on.
Yeah, are you listening, Trauma?
Are you listening? Um, and who is John Gwynne as a reader?
Wow, okay. So I mean, I grew up loving Tolkien. My sister gave me The Hobbit when I was 7 or 8. And I loved The Hobbit, and then I just fell in love with Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, and the Silmarillion.
It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's just I was in Oxford on Friday at a literary festival, and just standing in the same places that Tolkien stood is the man was
Oh my God.
yeah, it's fabulous. He was just a genius, just incredible writer. But so Tolkien has always been like a huge inspiration to me. Um, and David Gemmell was a big inspiration for me as well. I remember I bought David Gemmell's first book when it came out, Legend, and I must have been about 14 at the time, something like that. And I remember that was the first book that I stayed up all night because I just had to know what was going to happen next.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah, a real page turner. So I love Gemmell. And he's been a big inspiration to me. And Bernard Cornwell, I mentioned Bernard Cornwell, with historical novels, but he also wrote a trilogy on King Arthur, which is one of my favorite series in the world. I love it. It makes me cry every time I read it. And he writes fantastic battle scenes. I love Bernard Cornwell's writing. So those are kind of guys that I've always loved. But I still, I'm a fantasy reader. I love reading, so I don't read as much as I used to because one of the sad things about being a kind of a full-time writer is you don't have as much time to read for pleasure. Because I spend a lot of my reading time doing research for projects. So I have less kind of free time, but I still do squeeze in as many fantasy novels as I can. So yeah, recently I've read Christopher Buehlman, The Daughter's War, which I really loved. Jay Kristoff, his Empire of the Vampire series, book 1 and 2 I've read. Really loved that. Giles Christian, who's a historical novelist. He read his book Arthur, which is great. I've read some Stephen King lately. The
I
Outsider.
love Stephen King. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've loved Stephen King. Again, my sister, she's got a lot to answer for really because she gave me Salem's Lot when I must
Hmm.
have been 11 or 12 and scared the living daylights out of me. But I love Stephen King ever since then.
I have 3 shelves full of Stephen King.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it too.
He's a master. Yeah, yeah. So I'm always reading as much as I can.
That's cool. So in the same line of question, what do you enjoy doing besides reenacting and besides writing? Something that you love to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, really, I'm a family man, so I love spending time with my wife and my children. We do a lot together, we hang out together, we go to the cinema together, walks, day trips. So go out for dinner together a lot. So I do a lot with my
Eat.
family. Yeah, I
I
love
like
it.
to eat in my free
Lovely.
time too.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially cheese.
yeah. Of course, that's right. Absolutely. But the other thing we do actually, it's and this I blame my wife for, is she's animal mad. So I don't even know how it's happened, but we've ended up with like 10 sheep and 4 goats, some
The
horses,
full-time job.
ducks. It is. It really is. Yeah, that she's lambing at the moment, so she's got ewes that are giving birth to lambs probably tonight. So yeah, it is fun time.
God,
Yeah, some born yesterday. Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
I have to know her. I already loved her. We are getting closer to the end of this interview, and I have to ask you if you want to come to Brazil, maybe in a literature festival, to sign some books. I have to have your signature in my shelf. So
I'd love to. Yeah, of course. I'd love to. I'd love to. That would be great. It's a real honor to visit different countries and meet readers who have read my books and enjoyed them. It's a surreal feeling, really it is. It's strange in a way because I never imagined being a professional writer, so I feel very fortunate, and the fact that people would like me to come to their country and sign their books is lovely.
please come. We would love to have you here. And you have to come to Minas Gerais, that's my state, so I can give you some cheese and bring everybody who
Absolutely.
can and eat some good stuff too. So, would you like to say something to your Brazilian readers today? A little bird has told me that you have some news.
Actually, yes, yeah, I'm really excited to hear this, and I'm really pleased to be able to say that Shadow of the Gods, book one of the Bloodsworn saga, w will be published in Brazil this year in November. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Very excited, and hope that there'll be 1 or 2 people in Brazil that look forward to reading that as well.
1 or 2, I can read it again in my language now, so will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
super cool. Let me see the chat here if I have some questions. And movie adaptations. Can we wait for something to happen?
Oh yes, I mean again, it's like being published in another country with film and TV. It's just out of my hands. It's you have to be approached um by a company. So I can't, there's nothing happening at the moment that's definite. So I can't really say anything, I'm afraid, at the moment that's good news. But I mean, there have been inquiries, but nothing definite yet. Maybe one day.
We'll have to wait.
Yeah.
It will happen. I can tell you that it will happen. It's so
Um,
good that it needs adaptation.
uh,
We have another question here. Did the Shadow of the Gods go through a lot of changes over the writing process? How different was the first draft from the final version?
it w not wasn't very different really. I think the main thing that changed is that because I'm terrible with deadlines, so I write the book and I'm writing right up until the deadline, and I don't get a chance to read it back. I just click send and send it to my editor, my agent and my editor, and then they come back to me with their thoughts and we start the edit. And for the Shadow of the Gods, the main kind of thoughts for my agent and editor were, can we have more of this? Can we have more of that? So the book got a bit bigger through the edit, and I expanded some scenes, especially the scene at the end. Um, it's not a spoiler to
The scene.
say with the dragon.
The scene.
The scene with the dragon,
That's a dragon on the cover. Everybody's expecting a dragon, so it's not a
exactly.
spoiler.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
It's a huge dragon. It's not a dragon, it's a huge dragon.
yeah,
And
yeah.
a tiny person. So we are very excited to have the Shadow of the Gods in November. and we can't wait to have all of your books here. And thank you very much to taking the time to speak with us here in Brazil, and we can't wait to have all of your books here.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really honored to hear that. I'm thrilled. I'm really pleased to hear that my books are going to be published in Brazil. It's fabulous news. It's great. So there'll be lots of Viking readers around the world.
Yeah, and you have to come to sign it. That's a deal.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Yep.
So we are finishing this panel. Thank you very much, John.
Thanks, Lorena. Thanks for giving me your time. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.